Here we go, college football payoff. We are in, week 8? What episode is this?
This will be episode 26.
26.
Nice.
I'm Dan, and I'm with the Prophet, Big Country, who is on an 11-2 run right now. He is carrying the podcast. He's carrying me for sure, but my God, if you're following him and following his picks right now, you are in the money. Me, not so much. Last week was a rough one. I went 0-3. There's not much you can say after that. You just got to put it behind you and go on to the next week.
Keep it pushing. I didn't know the 3 week this season.
Yeah, so what happened right after that 0-3 week?
Then I went on an 11-2 run.
So what does that tell you? We're going to get going.
You're due.
So just a quick recap. Bowling Green, 14.5, that lost. Michigan, 3.5, they won by 3. And then the first half of Alabama, Texas A&M, my first half pick of the year, and Alabama lost. And then to make matters worse, Moneyline Moneymaker was Texas beating Oklahoma. Texas had it in the bag. Oklahoma decided to ditch Spencer Rattler. Backup comes in, and Texas loses a heartbreaker.
Man, I don't know what they're going to do with Spencer Rattler now.
So did you see after the game there was a video?
He just walked right off the field.
Yeah, they had a video of the entire team taking a picture, and he was just walking off the field.
I mean, if you ever watched him when he was on like QB1 in high school and shit, he don't want to diss on the boy, but
he's a punk.
He might just straight up not be a good person.
No.
So like I don't know. At least his character hasn't impressed me by any means.
Well,
so.
he was a punk when he was on that show.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've seen throwback videos of him just being such an asshole to everybody.
To like the backups and stuff. Like,
yeah, and that's not how you do it.
I mean, I do have a small little Heisman ticket out on you, but I don't care to lose it.
Well, I was going to tell you too with your Desmond Ridder pick. So Cincinnati's third in the nation right now?
Yeah, that's looking pretty.
It's going to look great
right now, yeah.
But some people still have C.J. Stroud, quarterback for Ohio State, higher than Desmond Ridder, which I don't see it at all. He had 2 5-touchdown games back-to-back weeks, but they were against pretty bad defenses.
They really haven't played anybody except Oregon. And yeah, he had an okay game against Oregon, but he makes great throws, but not elite throws.
Exactly.
So just give me the 33-1 on Ridder.
Yeah, and Ridder is going off with that squad. I hope they make the playoff. But all right, that's enough of that. We are going to get into it. You had 4 picks last week, right?
I did. I went 3-1. So the Coastal first half minus 10.5, never a doubt. Tennessee minus 10.5, never a doubt, and TCU minus 1.5, never a doubt. And then what makes matters even tougher, my one loss last week was the SMU Navy over 55.5. That total landed at 55. So we are a half point away from a 4-0 week, but we'll take the 3-1.
Absolutely,
stay profitable, and
for sure.
It's on to week 7.
All right. So let's get it going. Not a lot of analysis out of me this week because I am just looking to get back on track. So I got 3 games where I saw it, I felt it, I picked it, and not going to overanalyze it. We're just going to roll with it because they look pretty damn good to me. I'm going to start with Purdue at Iowa. Now, that game last week, first of all, with Iowa-Penn State was pretty damn good. This one, back at Iowa, 3:30 Saturday. Over-under is set at 41.5. The spread is Iowa minus 11.5. And we're going to go with the under in this game. Because
what game is this?
Purdue, Iowa.
Oh, shit.
We got one together?
We got one together.
What are you playing?
I'm under 43.
Let's go.
Let's go. We didn't even talk about it before the show.
I mean, that's
nice.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that's perfect because when I look at this game, Iowa, they always have one of the best defenses, but Purdue's defense this year is pretty good.
Pretty damn good, yeah.
Both these defenses are top 15 in total yards and top 10 in points scored. So Purdue gives up 15, Iowa gives up 13. These are great defenses. We know Iowa's not, they're back to the running gun. Not running gun. They run it down your throat. But they do pass it pretty well. Actually, they don't pass it pretty well at all. No, I was looking at Purdue. But Iowa's pass defense is top 25 in the nation. So I look at this, and I think Iowa coming off that big win against Penn State, I think they just throw defense. They're kind of coming down off that high. Purdue scoring around 24 points a game, but Iowa's giving up 13. Iowa's scoring around 31 a game. Purdue's giving up 15.
Yeah.
I think the number stays very, very low. And I think now that you said 43, I'm definitely taking the under in that.
I just got it at 43. So yeah, I already placed that bet. I guess I'll just add on to a little bit what you said. So one thing we know here is that turnovers kill unders because a lot of the times it gives the opposing team very good field position. One thing we know about Jack Plummer, the quarterback for Purdue, I don't think he's thrown a pick all year. And we're going to need a performance like that. And they don't run up. They don't really score a lot of points. So if he can protect the ball, slow the game down, Iowa's offense is very unimpressive, but their defense is just elite. I just think that both defenses can hold. It's just a game of really great defenses against really poor offenses.
Yeah.
So it's really not.
Purdue's offense has 1 turnover. Iowa's offense has 3 turnovers on the year, and Purdue's defense only has 2 takeaways. So I think it's going to be a pretty low-scoring affair. It's going to be a lot of punts, a lot of field possession. And then also the last thing I'll throw in there is all 5 of Purdue's games this year have been under. Iowa's games, 4 of the 6 have been under. So this is the first time this year that we got one that we're agreeing on.
Nice, yeah.
Hopefully we can hit that trend a little bit more. But both of us, Purdue, Iowa, under 43, right?
Love that, yes.
Awesome.
Okay. I guess I'll go straight to my second pick then. For my second pick this week, we're going to take a game that none of you probably want to watch, but I want to make money on it. And that's the Vanderbilt Commodores visiting the South Carolina Gamecocks. 4 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. Both teams are looking for their first conference win, and both teams have had very unimpressive seasons. So we all know the story about Vanderbilt. They're clearly the worst team in the SEC. I'm pretty sure South Carolina's the second worst team this year. We'll see what their game against Missouri shows. But this is just also another story of 2 very unimpressive offenses. So when we look at the South Carolina Gamecocks, they on the defensive side of the ball, they do only allow 330 yards a game. I expect them to dominate Vanderbilt here. But I don't like this 18.5 point spread. Man, South Carolina just got the brakes beaten off of them last week by Tennessee. They barely squeaked out a win against Troy at home. Lost to Kentucky, got murdered by Georgia, just like Vanderbilt. And, their last win, well, I guess they don't even have a Power 5 win this year. So none of the non-cons. Vanderbilt, the highlight of their season was beating UConn by 2 points. I don't know what you want to take with that. A UConn team that's 0-7 that just lost to UMass last week. There's really not much more to say. Luke Doty from South Carolina only has 733 passing yards. Vanderbilt's Seals at quarterback has a 5-7 touchdown to interception ratio. Both teams have played 6 games. They don't have a wide receiver with over 350 yards receiving. They don't have a running back with over 230 yards rushing. Just a very sorry situation. A lot of power rating numbers that I review have this total at coming in at 48, 49 range. I'll take the under 51. And let's just hope for a really sloppy game that doesn't lead to some weird special teams or defensive touchdowns.
Yeah, it sounds like it might be pretty sloppy.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with Alabama at Mississippi State, 7 o'clock kickoff. And the reason that I'm taking this, Alabama's a 17-point favorite, but the reason that I'm taking this is because Alabama lost last week.
Yeah.
With Nick Saban, I don't think there has ever been a time that he's lost 2 straight regular season games. And dating back in 2019, Alabama lost to LSU. Next week, they beat up on Mississippi State 38-7. 2018, lost to Auburn. Next game was Clemson in the college football playoff, destroyed them. All right, 2015 team lost to Ole Miss, followed it up with a 34-0 win. Moral of the story here, Alabama has Nick Saban, who is fuming that they lost that game last week. He's going to come out with a vengeance. And the fact that they did not drop out of the top 5, he knows that. And he knows that if he goes out and plays Alabama football, he's going to end up in the college football playoff again.
Right.
But he cannot have another game where it's a little snoozer or a close win. Alabama, their defense forces turnovers, and Mississippi State's offense has turnovers to give.
Machine, especially when you're in a Mike Leach offense.
Yeah.
When you actually have to play a good defense, you are a turnover machine.
So right there, we know turnovers are going to help Alabama's offense. I think Saban comes out with a game plan that's just, destroy, put up as many points as possible, beat a conference rival, and I think this is an easy pick for me. Alabama, the points in this series, the favorite is 5-1 against the spread against their last 6, and Alabama, obviously 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 meetings, seeing as they were the favorite. So keep it simple. I go on the Nick Saban revenge tour, and Alabama minus 17.
Well, there's not going to be too much diversity in games this week because I'm on this Alabama game too.
Oh my God, let's go!
So,
we got 2.
But I'm not taking the full game.
Okay. That's all right.
And the reason being, I was thinking about it more this week. Okay, yeah, I would feel if I had to take a full game side, it would be Bama, obviously, in this game. But based on what we know Alabama's situation to be, man, if they just win out, make it to the SEC championship, and beat Georgia in the SEC championship, they will make it to the playoff, undoubtedly. And Georgia will too. But if that's all you need to do, I guess you don't really need to be blowing teams out. I don't know what Nick Saban's attitude is going to be here, but I definitely think they're going to keep their foot on the gas from go. Mm-hmm. I'm in it. This play didn't cover last week. It's been a cover machine since 2019. I'm just gonna go Bama first half minus 10.5. I know it's a very mainstream pick, but I just think, man, I can't take the full game because maybe there's a backdoor. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're up 20. I have 17.5 at most of the books. If they're up by 24 at the end of the game and let in a touchdown right at the end. I'm more nervous about that than anything when the third stringers are in. So, I'm just going to go first half minus 10.
Okay.
Minus 10.5 here.
All right. But it's good juju that we're on the same games here.
Yeah.
I'm really liking this.
This is a tough week, too, in college football.
This is my turnaround. This is the turnaround.
There are a lot of lines this week that I just don't understand, and I really got to look deeper in it because Big Ten especially. Big Ten football is going to get shaken up this weekend according to Vegas. So be ready for that.
All right. So speaking of big lines, I got this Ole Miss Tennessee game, 7:30 at Tennessee. Now the spread is Mississippi State minus 2.5, which originally that's what I was looking at, but I looked into this and now it's the over/under is 83. That's the highest it's ever been, I believe, in an SEC game. And I think, what was it, a few weeks ago, there was an over-under in the Bama-Ole Miss game of 79.
Yeah.
And that didn't come close.
No.
So I want to stick with Ole Miss, but if I see a number as high as 83, I'm taking the under in it.
Yeah, I'm putting the under in too.
So,
I'm not going to take it officially on the pod.
Well, I'm taking it officially on the pod because when I see the highest total in an SEC game, and it blows that total from 2 weeks ago with the same team, and they hit under, I'm absolutely taking it. So under, 83 is my pick for Ole Miss at Tennessee. And another reason, kind of nothing to do with the game or the players, Tennessee had that game last week where they wore their black jerseys. They won it. I feel like after a big jersey game, you come down a little bit.
Hey,
yep.
Tennessee, thank you for covering last week.
Yes.
But let's go under this week.
Yeah, we're going to take the under in that one. Like I said, I'm not doing too much analysis here. I am just getting down to the bare bones, and luckily I have 2 of Big Country's games, so hopefully he doesn't get any of my bad luck, but knock on wood there.
Hey,
All
you're due.
I'm due. Yeah, because after you went 0-3, you charged up. So, all right. Those are my 3 games, and then I got my money line, but you got one more, or are you done?
No, I got we had Purdue, Iowa together. I took the first half in Bama and the SC Vandy under, so I guess I'm all out.
I mean, how quick is this? We're going to jump right into the money line.
It's probably a good episode to share with your friends if you want to help the pod out here.
I mean, this is a quick listen. It's going to be under 20 minutes probably.
Yeah,
just jump in, get some picks.
Let's go.
All right.
What's the money line moneymaker?
All right. I had 2 that I was looking at, but now that I look at it more, because I was kind of interested in Navy, but Boston College against NC State. That's the one that I'm going to take. Boston College is a plus 145 right now. NC State is a 3.5-point favorite. This is a 7:30 game.
Mm-hmm.
NC State's playing at Boston College. And the game, it lines up so well. Boston College offense against NC State's defense. But what I see is that Boston College they don't turn the ball over. Their defense gets takeaways. And I think with this, it's just a field play. I had a few games that I looked at, and this one just kind of kept jumping at me. So I'm going to go with Boston College plus 145. They're playing pretty damn well this year. And with the ACC being where it is, Boston College has kind of been hanging around, but it's always been Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
I think now that it's kind of wide open, a home night game later in the year, with a chance to win the ACC, I think Boston College pulls it out. It is looking like it could rain too, so that could help Boston College as well, because NC State is better through the air.
Oh yeah,
and Boston College likes to run the ball. So I'm taking Boston College plus 145. There it is. That was quick.
That was quick.
That's how we get in and get out.
But I kind of like it.
All right. So real quick for my card, Purdue, Iowa, under 43. That is with Big Country. Alabama, minus 17. And then I got the under 83 in Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Boston College on the money line.
Nice. This is a big under week, man. Yeah, like Dan, I have the Purdue, Iowa under 43, SC Vandy under 51, and Bama first half minus 10.5.
There we go. Listen, if you are not sharing this with your friends, you are doing a disservice to them, because we got probably one of the hottest gamblers known to man right now. He's on fire, and on the flip side, the way that I'm going, if you really wanted to, you could fade me and make a lot of money. But either way, you should be sharing this with your friends, because...
Man, we just passed 500 downloads last week.
Ooh.
We're really not that, big of a podcast yet, so you can still brag to everybody how you're great at researching college football games, and you found these 2 guys, blah, blah, blah. So just share it while it's small before it gets uncool to share it.
Yeah, before you're be the trendsetter, not the trend follower.
Yes.
All right, what are the socials?
You can follow the College Football Payoff at CF Payoff Pod on Twitter. You can find me at Big Country Bets on Twitter. You can find Dan at Accountant Bets on Twitter. That's about it from us.
Yeah, wherever you get wherever you can find a podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Apple, Pandora, anywhere, YouTube.
I usually post the Spotify link on Twitter. I'm gonna try the Apple podcast link this weekend. See if we get any more results.
Maybe we'll get a few more people.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you hear it, like, subscribe, follow, comment, share with everybody you know, because you don't want to be left behind when this guy puts up another monster week and improves his record to, 11-2 run. Don't be surprised if he goes on to a little heater here. So, all right, you got anything else?
I'm all good.
All right. For Big Country, I'm Dan. We will see you next week.